we'll just jump right in. I kind of think we know each other.
We want to go around and say who we are and where we're from. Would you like that?
No.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sorry. So in our last meeting for Spring City Citizen Corps, we discussed ideas of what we would like to talk about, and this is one of them that came up. And I think from a gardening standpoint, this one is actually timely because we're not overdue for it. And so what we're going to talk about today is, get back to her when she comes in. What we're going to talk about tonight is really more or less have a discussion, because I suspect I'm like a lot of you. I'm in the role of I really would like to be a really good gardener, but I'm not there yet, and so most of us have not been blessed with the opportunity to, grow up with parents that are hardcore gardeners and taught us how to do every step of the way. And so we're learning, and we're making lots of mistakes, and we're talking to people, and we don't have the luxury of sitting on the porch at the general store and chew the fat with the old seasoned guys who could give us sage advice. And so what I would like to do tonight is more or less have a discussion. And so if you've got some input or some ideas of what you may do, I've got my pen. I could take notes on mine, take notes on yours, and we'll just dive in. And so the topic tonight is putting your garden to bed. And what I've done many times is I put my garden to bed by harvesting what I'm gonna harvest and then worry about it in the spring.
Turn off the water.
Right, you shut off the water and, and call it good. And so with the help of AI, I presented the question, and it gave me lots of information. I ran it by my office manager, who is a seasoned hardcore gardener, and she gave me some input, and so this is what we've got. I find AI, like many of you, is good at providing an outline, and and it will give me things like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that type of thing. So let's just go through the handouts. We've got two parts. We've got putting your garden to bed, and then planting your fall garden. And now is fall garden planting time. And so the first task is to finish harvesting all your vegetables and fruits. And if your garden has been successful this year, this is when it starts to really get busy. And I know we've got a big box of Roma tomatoes that need to be processed this weekend, and so that's what we're up to. When does frost hit in Spring City?
Mid to end September.
Yeah.
I read the other day that it was the late frost was May 22nd, and the first frost ends May 22nd, and the September 27th seems to be the.
Yeah, and this put down
average.
September 19th.
Yeah.
And so September 19th is a good day to shoot for, as far as let's get things tucked away that need to be, that are going to be, influenced by an earlier frost. September 19th seemed awful early to me, but I think it's probably pretty accurate as far as an average. And so again, focus on frost sensitive crops like tomatoes, peppers, zucchinis, cucumbers, frost tolerant things, which is going to be your greens, your kale, your Swiss chard, your carrots, beets. Although Swiss chard does get frosted. Here's something that's interesting. When a frost is coming, and somehow nature knows when it's coming, what plants will often do is they will send more sugar into the plant. And sugar has a lower,
It depresses the freezing
it
point.
depresses the freezing point, thanks Linda. And so which is why your apples are gonna taste better after you've had a frost, because the sugar concentration goes up. And again, what other vegetables do we want a higher sugar concentration in? Our carrots.
Carrots.
And I'm looking at my grapes, and I've always thought that they needed a frost to get more sugar. Does anybody know?
I don't know, because
I-
grape harvest is,
I used to pick them on conference weekend
I've seen it up
when
north.
I lived up north,
okay,
but they seem to be getting ripe really fast right now.
Our green ones are.
Well, the person asked
They're
would
not.
be Audrey
Do you know
Fuchsel.
Audrey Fuchsel?
Uh-uh.
And she believes
She
in the
grows a
frost,
boatload
giving
of
it a little
grapes
more
And
sweetness.
knows
Yeah.
much about it.
You know, I think both.
You should
grapes
call
by their nature are already
If you,
packed with sugar.
just say.
And so, I don't know, that's a good, but we know that frost is not our enemy. It's just a factor that needs to be managed with what we're doing.
It sure helps kale. The
Yeah.
taste of kale, the cold.
Yeah, that would be nice, that's
Yeah,
nice to know.
definitely sweetens it up.
Yeah. So number two, clean up garden beds. Cleaning up garden beds is simply a matter of, pulling up everything that's done, your tomato plants, anything that's gonna be done for the season. When we were in Northern California, I would plant sometimes, 30 to 40 tomato plants. And then when it was time to clean up, we would invite all the young men over, the neighborhood boys, and we would have a tomato war that was lots and lots of fun. And so,
That's awesome.
remove dead plant material, clear the weeds, till or turn the soil, rake the leaves. Basically, you're gonna clean everything up. How many are into the no-till? Okay? And so, what's the benefit of no-till?
Because you have all these wonderful microbes and nematodes and everything in the soil,
Yeah,
and as soon as you turn it, you disrupt that whole network, and you bring all the weed seeds to the surface.
exactly. And so when you're not tilling, does that mean you're not influencing the soil at all? Not necessarily. Do you have a broad fork?
We know, and I love it.
I do too. And so a broad fork is like a pitchfork that's, mine is 30 inches wide, and there's 8 or 9 tines
Yeah.
on it. And you stand on it, and you kind of rock back and forth as it sinks into the ground, and then you pull back on the handles. And the idea is not to pull it all the way up and turn things, but just to turn back to loosen, to aerate the
Yeah, I was
soil.
gonna say, a lot of air gets down in there.
Airy.
It just,
Yeah.
it's nice. It's really nice.
And once your soil has been worked, I did mine, a bunch of my beds in my greenhouse, last weekend, and it's like you don't even need to stand on it, and it's really really nice.
Where do
And
you
so-
buy?
I got mine online.
I think it's called Tread Light or something.
There's
like that.
several different,
Yeah,
and so what I did is I had the option of wooden handles or metal, and so it came with the wooden handles. I ordered a set of the metal ones, which is just a stainless steel pipe, not
They're not-
a steel
that's
pipe. First time I used the wooden one on my hard soil, broke a handle, and so very happy that I've got the metal one. Once your beds have been, tilled and dug deep, then, easy peasy, but until then, the first time, you'll need that. So loosening the soil,
Does that make the weeds easier to pull out?
Mhm.
yeah, much
Okay.
easier. And so,
It's like that, that single fork that has the handle on it, that's a neat little tool for getting up weeds is you stick that, it's got like 5 or tines, and it's just a little fork, but it's got long tines, and it, you just step on that and it pulls the plants right out. I mean, the weeds.
You mean our potato harvester?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
That
yeah,
also.
it's great for potatoes, carrots, and, yeah. I don't know what they call it,
But it's a good tool. If you follow any market gardeners at all, I follow one out of Canada. His name is Jean-Martin Fortier. And if you just look up market gardening and J.M. Fortier, Forteier, I believe his name is spelled. Anyways, great information. And what's exciting about a lot of the gardening stuff is the people who are sharing their information online are really sharing their information online. And it's a kind of a community of, we just wanna help people rather than I wanna profit from you.
yeah.
And I'm kind of frustrated and disgusted at our whole culture that has become so money driven that, we don't wanna share. So anyways, number 3, mulch for winter protection. And so what do you use as mulch? What have you got?
Lots of leaves.
Lots of leaves. And so if you're fortunate enough to have deciduous trees that shed their leaves, to me, that's gold. My trees in my property right now, are little and young and juniper. And so,
Question, right above that, it says rake leaves, clear fallen leaves from garden beds to allow soil to breed and prevent mold or pest habitats. And then we're gonna put.
good point. Yeah, so that's what it says. So the top line on apply mulch, spread 2 to 4 inch layer of organic mulch, straw, wood chip, or shredded leaves. Why do you wanna shred the leaves?
So the teeny.
Aeration
tiny.
again.
Aeration. So you put a leaf and it gets wet and they just start stacking. You've created a cellophane barrier.
Slimy.
And so, easiest way to shred leaves, if you've got a chipper, you just, throw them through the chipper and if you don't, you can, brush them up however. Oh yeah, mowing, that's a great idea.
Paul Briner suggested putting them in a metal garbage can and then using your weed eater, and just going up and down.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Isn't that clever?
Yeah.
Could you repeat that?
Paul Briner suggested putting the leaves in a garbage can and then putting the weed eater down inside and just
Oh, we
spinning it
never
Thought
around.
of that?
Isn't that
Like an
clever?
immersion blender.
That's what it
Right.
is. It's your gardening immersion blender.
That's cool.
Where do you get wood chips here?
Yeah.
And so I've gotten them at this Beck Divided out on, Highway 89 between Spring City and Mount Pleasant.
I heard you don't want juniper chips.
Yeah, you don't want the pine,
The juniper chips are good for walkways, but not for mulching or putting around
Right.
plants.
Right.
For some
Do you know
reason.
why?
I don't.
Because they don't decompose
Yeah.
very quickly.
Just not-
Which again is great for a walkway, but not for, something. And so the idea with mulch is eventually your mulch is gonna become soil. And that's what we're after. So you look at here, it says straw, wood chips, or shredded leaves.
but you say around the base of perennial shrubs and trees, you're not saying on the garden.
Correct. And so you apply the mulch to your perennials that are gonna be there, and, we're gonna get down preparing, amending the soil and a couple things there. Bulbs, how many of you dig up bulbs? Yeah, that's us, we hardly ever. And so if you've got, canna lilies and begonias and dahlias and things like that, then you can. I'm more inclined to put a layer of mulch, over that. And we're using more probably straw than anything as mulch.
Is it
Anyone-
What, yeah, go ahead.
Anyone who wants to come and get leaves, and do the immersion thing, barrel or whatever, I have like a forest,
I'm gonna take you up on that.
all right.
Where do you find a good bale of straw? Who
Yeah.
has straw for sale?
I've gotten some from IFA in the past.
You're gonna pay
Doesn't that
top
have
dollar
seeds
from
in?
IFA.
Are there any farmers around that just sell their, by the bale?
You gotta kinda keep your eyes open. There was a guy last year that put some bales of straw right down on Main Street. And we saw him unloading them, and I, ran over to him and said, I want 50 of these. And,
Whoa.
and so, we've got a lot of area that needs
Do
straw.
you sell straw?
And I don't. And so a lot of it's keep your eyes open, you know.
Especially this time of year, cause farmers will put them out because people wanna decorate with them.
Right.
For Halloween.
So you just watch and.
Okay.
they put 'em out.
And you could expect to pay anywhere from $5 a bale is a really, really good price. I've seen them up to 7 or 8. Most of your hay now is going for about $8 a bale. And so,
Used to be 75 cents.
Doesn't hay have seeds in that you don't want? Don't you have to get, isn't there a difference between straw and hay?
oh yeah,
Oh,
so hay is what you're gonna feed your animals.
Right.
And straw is what you're gonna use for bedding. And, depends on, it depends. I mean, if you're getting alfalfa, are you gonna get some alfalfa seeds that are gonna germinate? And the answer is yeah. But,
Of course, with the grass hay, you're probably gonna get.
you're gonna
grass
get,
seeds.
yeah, you're gonna get your grasses and all of that. And so, if you get manure, people say get the cow manure, don't get the horse manure. Horse manure, the horses don't have those 4 stomachs that are gonna digest and break the seeds down. And so horse manure is gonna have seeds that will germinate. And so if you spread lots of, horse manure over your garden thinking that it's not gonna grow any weeds, you're mistaken.
I got goat manure last year.
Right.
From Vern Wilson here in town, and wow, it's great.
Yeah.
It's really easy to pull any weeds that do come out from that.
If you can get some goat manure, if you can get rabbit, is really good. We've got sheep, and so my wife goes out there and rakes up the straw mixed evenly with the sheep pellets, and and these little raisins are just everywhere through the garden, and so that's a good thing.
The place with goats right at the north end of Canal Canyon Road, they sell goat manure in bags.
Yeah, $5 a bag.
Take the bag, leave the money, you got goat
So
manure.
it's just right up the canyon
It's
road.
the
Yeah.
Milky
It's
Hollow
just
Dairy.
past the street that goes up to our place, it's, what do they call it, Meadows?
Milky Hollow.
Milky Hollow.
Okay.
The goats, yeah,
Okay.
right there.
And when you're purchasing, some manure like that from somebody local, that's a good thing.
Well, and he'll do a truckload, that's what he brought to my house, was a truckload. He's a back where he brought that, he even tilled it in the garden for me.
Wow.
I
That's
paid
cool.
him, but.
That's delivered.
Yeah, and so, we always wanna support our locals.
Yeah.
Number 5, prepare soil for next season. Again, if you're doing the no-till thing, you're gonna loosen the soil. If you're gonna be, tilling, you get a little, rototiller or a big one. I know a lot of the marketers are, using a big, can't remember the name of the thing they use, but it's, a big industrial one that you can do acres worth. Even the little, has anybody ever had one of those little mantis tillers?
Yeah, I've had one.
And those are really good once the soil has been worked on. If you're expecting that to break up hard soil, you're gonna be dancing and bouncing around with it. And so, again, tilling the soil, you amend the soil. How many of you use, like azomite? And so azomite is a volcanic ash that is real high in minerals. And so you can, spread some of that in your garden,
And you have to mix it in, like till it in.
correct. Yeah, and so you're gonna be tilling that in your soil.
Is that, where would you get that, just to, I mean, if.
It's mined
in
west
every-
or south of Nephi, and we got a group by here, got it way cheaper.
But you could get it, I believe IFA sells it,
And is it,
Tractors are fine.
Up north, we buy Utilite. Down here, they don't have it down here, but that's the same.
but it's the same thing. You know, basically,
different, but it's
everybody
the same.
claims that theirs is better, you know, Redmond salt, you know, claims theirs is the best, you know,
Yeah.
salt you can get. It's the best locally found salt. The Himalayan salt is good, and Celtic, you know, sea salt is good. And so, I bought some Dead Sea salt, thinking, I was on a salt kick, thinking, oh, I'm gonna get all these salts. Have you ever tried smoked salt before? It is, my daughter says, this is a game changer, Dad. And so, you can get smoked salt, and it's delicious, just a little bit of a smoky flavor to it. But I bought this Dead Sea salt, thinking, oh, this is gonna be so good. I tasted it, ugh, it's like Epsom salts. So very, very high in the magnesium, not a culinary salt, but good if you're gonna, you know, take a nice hot soaky bath. And so, test the soil pH. Anyone know what our soil pH is around here?
It's 8 something.
Yeah, we're alkaline,
It's gotta be high.
and so that's part of the things. Do we grow blueberries out here? How come? Blueberries
They
need
the
acid,
soil.
and so if you're gonna do blueberries, what natural thing can you amend your soil with?
Vinegar,
Ashes.
sulfur.
No, ashes
ashes
are
are
alkaline.
ice.
Yeah, pine needles. Pine needles are acidic. And so, again, if you're gonna be doing something like blueberries, you need to bring in soil. Don't think you're gonna amend, you know, our, you know, dry seabed soil here.
That is hard to do, hard to keep it
Yeah, it's
acid. So if you will grow a close cousin of blueberries called service berries,
Yeah,
they are the same family, but they're used to alkaline soil.
interesting.
Or honeyberries. I have honeyberries, and they look like blueberries, but they're long,
And they're really good, aren't they?
and they are. The grasshoppers like them a lot.
So that'd be a magnet for them?
Yeah.
And then cover crops. How many have done cover crops before? Yeah, and so cover crops, the purpose of a cover crop is twofold, right? You want to grow something, so something that you don't want growing will not
It's
grow.
crowded out.
It's crowded out, or, and also, you're bringing up nutrients. And so when you do the legume family, you bring in nitrogen. Linda?
I'll just say, this was a big fail for me years ago when I did buckwheat, and we didn't till it under fast enough, and it seeded, and oh my word.
You got buckwheat, huh?
Oh, yeah, so just be careful.
So once you do your cover crop, then in the spring, you need to till it in very quickly.
Yeah, before
Or you
it
need
sets
to
seed.
till it.
Think in terms of sprouts. If
Okay.
you've ever done alfalfa sprouts or radish or broccoli sprouts, you wanna get that sweet spot where they're still really, really tender, and you let them go, 2 days too long, and they're tough and fibery, and they're not yummy anymore. And so the same holds true with,
What else could we use for a covered crop around here?
what can we use?
Clover?
Yeah, clover is great. Rye winter rye is a good one.
Is that like an annual?
You have to plant it.
Yeah, so they're annual, so you'll spread the seeds, and when you tuck them to bed in the fall, they'll start growing in the winter, in the spring. Here's my clover story. So we're living in Woodland Hills. We buy this house, we move in the beginning of March. We had no idea what the yard looked like, and when spring came and the snow melted, the most prominent plant that was growing was, goat heads or puncture vine. Tribulus is the Latin name, and you couldn't walk outside without, kids couldn't ride the bikes without popping the tires. And so I dutifully pulled all this puncture vine, these goat heads out, and think, okay, I got them all, I'm good. And the next year, they all came up again. And so I'm out there cursing the puncture vines, praying to God, saying, what am I supposed to do with this? And the answer came to my mind, plant clover. And so I thought, okay, I'm a good herbalist, I'm gonna plant red clover, because red clover is great, it's medicinal, it's, people with cancer, and it's just a blood cleanser. So I planted red clover all through the front yard, and the next spring, the clover came up and it choked out the puncture vine, and we didn't have a problem anymore.
And then
so-
do you always have that clover? Does it
Yeah,
keep
it would,
coming out?
it would come, and, the only downside of clover is the bees like it, and, and so if you're out barefooted and you're,
What would be the difference between white and red?
just a different variety. As far as a cover crop, they're both the same. The red clover has some medicinal properties that the other ones don't have. Red clover, if you look at it, it's really more purple than red, but
So wouldn't that be a good thing to choke out what's that grass, cheatgrass?
I would think so.
Quackgrass?
I'm gonna go
And so,
buy
For those of us that have cheatgrass, you walk out there now and they get into your socks,
Yeah.
and, you
Well-
wanna have boots up to your knees. And so.
Foxtail.
Foxtails, yeah, all of that. And so the point is we kinda want something growing everywhere.
Does it grow well through the summer when it gets hot, the clover?
If you water it,
Okay.
yeah, it's,
But it will still
it's-
choke out the,
yeah. And so what we're competing for is that germination window, right? And so if we could plant something that's gonna nudge out whatever, then that's a good thing.
So if you do a cover crop, you kind of have to choose if you're doing that or a no-till garden, right? Because a cover crop you have to till in.
I don't think you would you?
Yes,
You
yes
just
and
put
no.
it as, when it's maybe even over the snow?
Yeah, but you're right, Christy. You are gonna need to eliminate the cover crop, before you start planting your.
But that's when you fill it in the spring.
But that's when you're gonna till it in. And so again, and I don't know the answer to this. Do no-till, hardcore no-till gardeners cover crop? And the answer is yes, but I'm not sure what they're exactly doing. When spring comes and time to plant. Linda?
I think some people just mow instead of tilling and let it,
Mow and then plant.
it's like sheet composting.
Okay,
I've seen people do
I
that.
think you're right.
Okay,
Um,
sounds good.
Pruning in trees. Do we prune in the fall?
Some of the
Lightly.
raspberries. and-
And so the answer is yeah, kind of. And so pruning in the fall means you're cleaning up dead branches. So if you've got a dead branch on your shrub or your tree, you can prune that and get rid of it. But as far as grooming and pruning, the majority of that's gonna come in the late winter. Late winter, early spring. Number 7, we're on winterized irrigation systems. What time does the irrigation turn off?
October
Right.
15th.
Depends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, July this year,
For a while.
yeah. And so we wanna take care of all of the things. If you've got timers, if you've got, hoses, a hose that's wound up full of water and freezes, is not necessarily gonna be a happy hose in the spring.
Then it's drip irrigation.
Pardon?
Then it's drip irrigation.
Then it's drip irrigation, yeah. Number 8, plant spring bulbs.
October, that's good enough.
Sure.
What other bulbs do you plant?
Garlic.
Garlic,
Garlic,
yeah,
of course, you can do those in the spring and the fall.
Different ones.
yeah. And so, anyone have favorite varieties of garlic that you use? I really like music garlic, if you tried that. The bulbs are fairly large, and there's only 4 or 5 cloves per bulb. And so,
Music
Is
as in
like in la 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 la
music,
la,
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Is the soft neck the bigger bulb, or is the hard neck is the bigger bulb?
I'm not sure. So which are the ones, the soft or the hard, that do the scapes? You know what scapes are?
Do the little curly,
Yeah.
that's the hard neck, I think.
Yeah,
I don't.
and so the music is hard neck.
Okay.
I made,
Okay.
I probably had 300 bulbs of garlic this year. And we harvested the scapes and made pesto with it. Have you ever made pesto before? So pesto is classically, for pesto you use basil, fresh basil, and garlic, and olive oil, and pine nuts, and salt, and you blend it all up, and it's this delicious thing. And so with the garlic scapes, we will don't use the garlic, because they taste like garlic green beans. You ever made garlic green beans? You get some green beans, just slice them up, you fry them with garlic, and they're delicious. And so the scapes taste like that. And so instead of using basil, or sometimes we'll use cilantro. You know what cilantro is? Cilantro is referred to as the poor man's chelation therapy. Have you heard that? Chelation therapy is when you want to take out the heavy metals out of your body that have been put there by who knows what. And so cilantro will do that. Cilantro people either really like cilantro or they don't. And a small percentage of people with cilantro, it tastes like soap. About like 1% or something like that. And so anyways, again, the garlic is a great one to plant in the fall. And this year, we were decimated by grasshoppers, as some of you were. And my garlic was probably, 2.5 feet tall, and the grasshoppers came through and ate them down just to nubs. But it was still enough that I could have a harvest. They weren't as big as they should have been, but we've got garlic. Protect cold sensitive plants. If you've got potted plants that need to be moved indoors, you do that. You can use cold frames. You could use your greenhouse if you've got a greenhouse. And then planning for next season. How many of you keep a notebook for garden?
For crop rotation, yeah.
And so if you get just one of these calendar style notebooks, you could write in there, you could take little notes. It's in a little book format rather than, just a bunch of pieces of papers that are gonna get misplaced. And that's something that's good to do. Order your seeds early. There are a lot of people getting into gardening, and so if you don't get your seeds early, sometimes you won't get them. What seed companies do you all use? Johnny's. I like Johnny's. I get stuff from them.
Burpees.
Say again, Burpee?
Burpees.
Yeah, so Johnny's and Burpees, those are reputable ones.
I do use True Leaf.
True
They
Leaf
have
is
some
good,
really cool varieties.
and True Leaf has some unique ones. True
They
Leaf
do.
is, what was their name before True Leaf? Handy
Mountain
Pantry.
Valley or something.
Well, Handy Pantry was their storefront. Anyways, they're just in Salt Lake.
Right,
You used to be able to go in there.
you can't now.
You can't now. It's all online.
Since COVID, they.
You
they-
could purchase sprouting seeds from True Leaf as well.
Oh, nice.
Can I say one thing about them?
Please.
Is if you place the order and say you'll pick it up, you can go in and they have a bunch of seeds in the back that you can just have for free
Right,
when you pick up an order. I got some of the coolest stuff 2 years ago.
Nice.
yeah, I've
I
done
was
that with them
amazed.
too.
Yeah.
Can you freeze dry seeds?
Can you freeze dry seeds?
I
think so.
freeze dried a bunch, and I
Freeze
think
dry.
they worked.
And they germinated?
Yeah, I think online they indicate that they will,
Hmm.
but I have not tried.
Freeze, yes.
I
but
just
not-
heard put it in the fridge.
Yeah, I put them in the freezer.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so again, if you want your seeds to last longer, cold. So they will live in your freezer.
This year I put in a whole bunch of old seeds, as far back as 2007, and they sprouted in my
Wow.
garden.
Okay.
That's cool.
And so don't throw your seeds away, because you never
Worst
know.
case scenario, use them as cover crops. I mean, throw them out for wherever. And if they grow, you've heard the term regenerative agriculture.
Right.
There's books that have been written about this, and it's becoming more, it's kind of the next generation of permaculture. And one of the philosophies there is, if a plant doesn't grow, if a tree doesn't grow in your environment, then it doesn't deserve to. And so the idea is we want to put trees and bushes and whatever and see how they do. And again, if they can adapt to our harsh environment, then hooray, you're the winner. And if you don't, it's like, sorry, dude, you didn't make it. And the interesting thing is this guy that wrote a book, his name's Mark, I can't remember his last name, but he's in, I think, Wisconsin or one of those places, and he's putting like pecan trees, which shouldn't grow in that area. And he says, yeah, I lost 20 of them, but two of them made it. And so now he has cold resistant, pecan trees. And so here's another interesting thing about apple trees. How do you grow an apple tree? When you go to the nursery and you buy an apple tree, do they grow it from seed? They're all grafted. And the reason that they do that is because when you grow an apple from a seed, you may have the best apple in the world, and you think, man, I'm collecting these seeds. I got 14 seeds here, I'm gonna plant them all, and they may all be nasty apples. And so, but one of them may be really, really good, and it may be a different variety. And so the point is we have these new varieties of apples that are being introduced. If everybody planted apple trees from their seeds, you would have, within a couple of years, I saw estimated like 100,000 new apple tree varieties that would be really, really good. And you'd have 1 million that wouldn't be. And so the point is there are some great varieties, and they are always introducing new ones, but you don't grow them from seed.
But should you have more than one apple tree if you're growing apples? Don't you need at least 2 trees?
Pollinators.
I don't know.
Most
I've been
apples
told,
are
that's what Ron
fertile.
told us, Ron Mans, and you
Like
need more
plums are
than one.
fussy about that.
I think you
Cherries
need
need
more
a
than one
pollen,
anyways,
yeah,
but
Those honeyberries need
There
pollen.
was a story about Johnny Appleseed years ago where he
Right.
spread all these seeds everywhere, and they grew these apples, and they were horrible apples, but
Right.
the men knew what to do with them. They made hard cider.
that's right.
And so the women went around and cut down all the trees.
Oh, that's
So they couldn't get their husbands
But
going.
here's the thing is 1 out of 100 of those trees produce
good
really
apple.
good apples. And so again, that is the thing. And so, crab apples, how many have got a crab apple tree?
Used to.
Used to as a
We
kid.
canned a bunch of them. There's one friend of ours in Spring City has crab apples, and we, harvested them and canned them, and they make decent applesauce, but they're so small, it's kind of more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah.
The birds like them.
I was gonna say that Scott did peach pits, and he had, I don't know, maybe 10 peaches that he did from seed, and they all tasted good, but they had a shelf life of roughly 1 day.
Yeah.
I never saw anything like it. They'd look perfect one day, and the next day they'd just be,
So when you say peach pits,
to get
The
peaches,
seed.
oh, yeah.
yeah, peach pits, to
Also-
grow peaches.
Also,
And the
he was
peach
eating them.
trees, yeah, the taste,
Yeah.
no, when they grew and bore peaches.
Oh,
The peaches were good, really delicious, but I mean, they didn't last at all.
Yeah, eat them the day you pick them.
You did, I was dumbest thing I
well,
ever
you know
saw.
what, and again, the varieties that you're gonna buy at a nursery are being sold because of the quality. Have any of you ever had an almond, fruit?
Right.
And so, you know, almonds are in the peach and apricot
Apricot,
family, and there is a fruit. You know, most of people think, you know, almonds are these hard, dry things, and they are, but if you eat them fresh from the tree, they're really quite delicious.
Soft.
Yeah,
Can you eat the almonds from a Russian almond shrub? We have a couple of Russian almond bushes.
I don't
and
know.
They have little almonds on them, but I've never thought,
Well, bring some over.
Is it
Because
Russian
I know
almond
this-
or
I know the
olive?
smell of cyanide,
Okay.
because that's
Right,
the one you
Well, I
shouldn't
grew
eat.
up
Russian
with
almond or
cyanide.
olive?
Okay, there you go then,
Almonds.
you'll know then.
Almond? Russian
almond.
almond, not
The
olive.
Russian almond, your Russian almond, or
A-L-M-O-N-D.
olives, we used to see all over in
Okay.
Pleasant Grove. But it's an
I don't know
almond, and it
Russian
has
almond.
cute little pink flowers in the spring, but it creates these little.
Hmm.
almonds.
Cyanide smelling flowers.
I don't.
Well,
The flowers don't smell
You
bad.
know about apricot pits,
I used to eat those, my sister and I grew up eating those all the time.
and apricot pits are Laetrile,
Right.
it's a cancer treatment. They look like almonds, they don't taste like almonds.
No,
No,
very
they
bitter.
don't. They
They're- Yeah,
don't.
they're very bitter.
Very bitter.
No.
Let's jump forward, we're on page 4, planting your fall garden. How many have or are planning a fall
I
garden?
just planted spinach and beets and carrots,
Perfect.
crossing a few days ago, crossing
Yeah.
my fingers.
And so, we won't jump into this too much, but there's a lot of good information here as far as what you can plant. A lot of your greens, I'm gonna buzz through this, the lettuce is good. If you're doing lettuce with any seriousness at all, consider weekly succession planting, right? So rather than planting, 40 heads of lettuce, all at the same time, you may wanna, space them out. Spinach is great. I had a greenhouse that I had years ago that was one of those domes, this turtle tough dome, if you remember when those were
Yeah.
around. And I had, gosh, spinach leaves that were probably the size of my chest. I mean, they were huge,
Holy.
and it was amazing. And so, radishes, 20 to 30 days to maturity are great. Arugula, kale. When you plant outdoors, you've got 60-day type things that you're gonna be planting, unless you're gonna be covering them over with mulch. And we've been able to pull carrots out in, January and February, and again, you just need to provide some insulation.
Does anyone have trouble, whenever I grow kale, it gets covered with millions of these little white creatures, I don't even know what they are.
Probably aphids.
Yeah, probably. Is there anything that you can do to prevent that?
If you cover them with that white cloth,
The-
they can't get in there to lay their eggs.
The insecticidal soap,
Yeah.
we've used that. Honestly, once the aphids take hold, they're
Yeah.
kind of,
Flamethrower.
I mean, short of that. It's
Give them to our chickens.
it's tough.
Oh, they love them.
The chickens love it, the goats love the kale. Um, They're on page, where is it, page 7? This is, there's a little chart here, right at the bottom, Sanford planting schedule. August 15th to the 20th, we're the 21st today. Outdoor, you can, do your lettuce, your spinach, your radishes, your arugula, kale. In the greenhouse, you've got, a longer window. Next week, you've got, it says last chance for radishes, lettuce, arugula. Greenhouse, again, you've got longer time. Anyone heat their greenhouse?
I did in
You
Spanish Fork.
sort of.
We leave it
Yeah, we
now.
sort of do.
Do you have chickens or animals that are producing heat in there?
No,
You used to
That's
use
nice.
some.
we produce our heat with aphids.
Pipe.
Oh, okay. So you've got the geothermal.
Yeah,
Do you love it?
so we're good until December. December and January, it gets below freezing. but
Yeah.
It's pretty low.
Anyone been to Nate Christensen's greenhouse?
Yes.
That's pretty amazing. He's dug the pipes, he's probably put $150,000 into this
Yeah.
greenhouse. But it's amazing.
amazing.
He's got banana trees, he's
Yes.
got all kinds of,
Mangoes.
Birds.
yeah, he's got these little finches that are flitting around in there.
Manti,
In
just west
Manti.
of the temple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It is amazing.
There's a guy in Ogden who does hobbit greenhouses, and he has the frame up, and then he puts lots of bales of hay and other things around it, so he doesn't use any electricity. He has openings at the top, so in the summer he can let the trees grow out, and he has oranges that he sells commercially.
Wow.
really.
Huh.
And this is in
Where's
Ogden.
this?
You've seen
Ogden,
the
it's
video,
hobbit.
citrus in the winter, this guy in Nebraska
Yeah.
Yeah.
that started this thing. There's a lot that you can do. I had a friend once tell me, he says, you could go to the grocery store and buy all this produce that you're growing for a lot cheaper than what you're doing. And I had to explain to him, I said, this is a hobby. You spend money doing hobbies, things that you enjoy to do, without the expectation that you're gonna be financially being profitable with it. And he
It's like
backed
a
off.
$450 tomato.
I think one of the biggest things is what the plants have been subjected to.
So I had a patient in this week, and she brought in five paper bags, little lunch bags. And she says, this is a double-blind test, and I've got 5 different things in here. I don't know which is which. You don't even know what they are. I want you to muscle test me and define which is good and which is not good. And so we muscle tested. I found that 2 bags she was strong with, she was good. 3 she was weak with. And we started opening the bags, and the weak bag it had a piece of bread that she had made. The other bag that was weak, there was yeast, commercial yeast that she'd used, and the other was hard red wheat that she had. And she says, yeah, this is suspect. I don't know the quality if this is good. The ones that she was strong with was some einkorn wheat that we sell. We sell these grains in my office. The einkorn was good, and King Arthur's white flour, which was good, and it was organic. And so what we learned from that is that even though she made this loaf of bread with some really good ingredients, we suspect that the hard red wheat that she ground, and it was all fresh ground, had probably got the glyphosate or spray on it. And so the point is when you grow your own stuff, you know what's gone into it. When I'm using fish emulsion and kelp as fertilizers, I know that I'm not putting in, Miracle Grow and some of these other things. And so I think that's an important point. One of my questions was specifically, with beets, how do you do with beets? And beets are great because you can harvest the leaves and the beet greens, as well as the beets themselves. What organ in the body are beets really healthy for?
Heart?
The heart, yeah. And so,
That's right.
peas, if you wanna do peas are cold hardy, right? And so get them started now and let them go. You can do some beans, certain varieties of beans, if you get them into ground now, you can do something with them.
Does anybody know anything about sorrel?
There's a lot of plants that are
Sorrel?
called sorrel.
Yeah,
Okay,
Which one?
I don't know, but we had it just thriving during the winter. just all year, it would grow in our garden.
And it's super nutritious,
Yeah,
and it's kind of a,
it's bitter, but
yeah.
it is good for you.
I grew up in the redwoods in California, and there was redwood sorrel, and it tasted like green apples. And that would not be cold hardy there.
Well, this
And
is
so-
very cold hardy here. This is
Does
just,
it look like a
yeah.
clover leaf? Or
no,
No,
does it
it's
look
kind of a-
thin?
yeah,
Okay, it's that kind of sorrel.
mhm.
There's so many plants.
Yeah, kind of a
called sorrel.
spatulated type leaf, yeah.
Really good for you.
My Russian
I
daughter
think
makes-
horses like it, cause that's where I've heard of it, is being fed to horses.
Well, and I think like the yellow dock and those types of things are in the same family. And again,
I don't
loaded
even know how I got
with
it.
minerals. If you really knew what you were doing, you could go around and you could find all kinds of greens that are edible, you know, in nature,
Even if they are.
even if they are bitter. What organ of the body does bitter leaves benefit? Yeah, the liver, the liver. And so,
Good to hear.
so that's what I've got tonight. Now, next week, we're gonna be, meeting not in this room, but out at the pavilion. And we're gonna be going over sharpening your tools.
So we bring our tools.
Bring your tools. How many of you have ever sharpened a shovel? Okay?
Not very successfully, but
But if you.
we gave it a whirl.
If you can get the nicks and the dents and all of that out of it, if you have wooden handles, you wanna be able to
The 28.
to maintain those. And, you know, we sand them a little bit and then we put an oil on them and that they're gonna be preserved longer. I'll bring one of my shovels that I broke, and I bought this stuff that you could repair broken, you know, tools with. And what it is just casting material. You know, the fiberglass cast that they put on there. And so I was pulling too hard on the shovel and it split the wood all the way up and just about broke it in half, and I put a cast on it, and it's great. And it works.
Will you show us how to do that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so here's the thing, this is what we don't do. When was the last time, and I'll give you a nickel, that you had a pair of shoes resoled,
It's been a while.
Well, who doesn't?
Used to.
right?
We used to.
We used to, I mean, remember as missionaries, you'd get your shoes resoled, because the uppers were still good, but now they do what's called planned obsolescence, meaning that I'm gonna wear out this and this, so you don't bother doing anything, and we're a throwaway society,
It's like washing machines used to get, they last 25 years.
Right.
Now, if you get 6 or 7 of them, you know.
Yeah.
right? You know, you talk to the repair guy, well, you've had it for 6 years, what do you expect? It's like, I expect, another 20.
Spanish Fork has a really good shoe guide for resoling.
Who's that? Spanish?
It's right on Main
Center
Street.
Street, it's like 4th North on the east side.
Okay.
3rd
Is,
or 4th
is
and
our
North.
shoemaker still here? The boot maker?
In
Walker?
Walker
he's
boots?
getting
Yeah,
Walker.
Walker's, he's still
getting
here.
really old, I
Resold
understand.
shoes?
I
Oh,
don't think he.
I didn't know he resold
I
shoes,
don't
so.
know.
I
Does he?
would think he would, why wouldn't he?
I think he
It
just makes
probably
boots.
cost a lot.
I don't know.
I don't know. The
Yeah,
guy from
his
Spanish
boots are
Fork
not
is pretty
cheap.
reasonable.
No,
Yeah, he's got had a lot of.
And so, but the tragedy is we're a throwaway society.
Yeah.
But if there comes a time, not that we're saying there will ever come a time, but if there comes a time that you've got what you've got and you need to fix or repair or maintain, it's good to know how to do that. And I'll tell you, I love my shovel with the cast on it, just because it tells me, look at this, Kyle, you didn't
saved
waste
it.
this,
You
you saved
the
it,
show.
and that's,
It's like mending a broken bone.
and so, again, we wanna take care of things. When I see somebody and they've had, their pants or their shirt, patched or repaired, to me, I wanna cheer. I think, all right, man, your wife loves you. And so, but the point is
My husband left. We should have heard that.
How
At
many
our
women,
house.
how many women today know how to use a sewing machine? Or even thread a sewing
I
machine,
don't charge lots, I do so.
right? I mean, it's a my wife tried to teach all her daughters to sew, and they could kinda get around a sewing machine, but not to the point where it's like, ooh, I'm gonna make me a new whatever.
My husband mends all of his clothes with duct tape, and his wife does
Duct
not
tape
love
is
it.
great.
Duct tape is fabulous.
A stapler also works pretty good for hemming pants, and so,
I think,
I haven't
I
seen
think it's
it.
worthwhile having shoe goo,
Oh,
yeah.
the brand, that's really good for repairing
I love
the
repairing
bottoms of your
things.
shoes.
Makes me feel so
Have you ever had that shoe
Shoe
glue?
goo,
It works good.
it really works well.
How long have you been able to keep
Well,
a tube
yeah,
of
for
it?
gluing
Well, I had never
sole
gotten the
back
tube,
on
I've
this
gotten the
and
bottles.
Okay, that's probably
more
better.
liquid.
take a
And I
shoe
think,
plate
I think
and
maybe
not
3 or 4
stitch.
years is all you get out of it.
Yeah,
What is it?
Shoe goo,
Yeah,
just how it sounds, shoe goo.
you could build up a shoe, you
Yeah.
could, so if you've got a chunk that's out of it, you could, kind of patch it and repair it, and so, so next week I'll bring my tool, maintain repair kit, and you can look at that.
So we shouldn't have a problem with lighting yet out there, 7 o'clock should still be.
We should be okay.
Sunny light.
Yeah.
It's lit, isn't it?
We are not to bring our tools, you're just gonna show us.
No, you
how
are to bring your tools.
We have a lot of tools.
Well, so I'm not gonna do it for you.
Judicious.
I'm gonna, show you and teach you.
Okay,
Now, do
We
we
bring
bring any
files?
tools with us?
Yeah, if you've got files, if you've got things on your own, and again, I suggested this class with the intent that I wanted someone that was more knowledgeable than me to show me some more things, and I got elected.
they couldn't find anyone more knowledgeable.
With the files, what's best? Flat file, round file, both?
Both, yeah.
Okay, I
So
wish I'd known
obviously,
that.
if you've got a flat shovel, but if you've got a curve or a round in it, then. But the idea is we wanna maintain the metal part as well as the wooden part. I'm liking more and more of the fiberglass handles,
Yeah.
than the wooden ones. But, I've got these tools, I'll bring some of them, the company's called Rogue, have you heard of those? They specialize for firefighters and just really heavy duty things. I've got this little tiny hoe that is just like, I'm in love with it, and it's just, my wife wants one, cause I guess I don't share very well.
Is it rogue as in rogue?
Yeah, ROGUE.
And that's a what, a road?
It's different hose and
It's a
garden,
It's a tool company.
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, besides, I just sent out, the email to everybody.
yeah, and it looks really nice,
Oh, thank you.
the pictures you found.
But, I'll add something to it tomorrow or tonight. Besides flat and round files, what else should we bring, besides our tools?
I would say, yeah, whatever people use to maintain their tools. I imagine that most people, most people don't have, this is what I use to do mine. Most people say, oh, I've never thought of
Okay, so if I just say flat
filing
and
my
round
pick
files,
or my,
Oil?
yeah. And
oil,
so I've got oil, I've got some cleaning stuff, I've got some mineral spirits that we use. And I'll have a handout that has instructions on how to do.
okay, so I'm gonna add flat and round files, oil, any particular, I mean, we're talking, here.
I would say if somebody has something that they're using, bring it and share it.
Okay,
But I don't want anybody to say, oh, I guess I need to go out and buy a flat file, and they come up with a, I don't know, an emery board for the nails.
well, yeah, or versatile.
What kind of oil?
Right,
Don't want that. So I want to ask
I
a
would
question,
use
did
some kind of
anybody have
Like
ever
sewing?
Motor
Shoes
oil.
oil?
Caleb
No, that's too
Warnick
expensive, I
seeds?
wouldn't use
Okay,
that.
this motor oil.
He has supposedly a really winter hardy
yeah.
romaine, and I wondered if anybody'd ever grown it.
You just wanted to put
Caleb Warnick?
some
He
a
did
film
his
on
to keep it from rusting.
He's
up in
So I think
Linden
any kind of
or-
oil.
Yeah, he's in
Highland up
Utah
there
County.
somewhere.
He's
He's
in-
in-
Yeah, I'd say
He's written several
They're in
books
those little
on
tiny bottles.
Yeah.
Falso and stuff.
Forgotten Secrets of
Women
Mormon
are thinking of
Pioneers is I
Yeah.
think his first one. And then
Yeah.
he's got one on winter gardening and,
Yeah, it's in the winter gardening one, and I wondered if anybody had grown any of them, if it's worth ordering. Anybody? Have
Yeah,
you
do
tried
it.
What?
Do it.
Do it? Okay.
And tell us about it.
No, the experiment.
I tried 2 years ago and he was out of them, and then last
What
year I
was
didn't
his
even
name?
think of it.
Caleb
Caleb Warnock?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Warnick, but it's
Yeah.
Warnock, how you
Oh,
spell it,
Oh, see.
but I've never gotten any of the seeds.
What happened to him?
He's still around.
I think he still
He
teaches
has some-
classes too,
Because he
Yeah,
always used to be around.
more than now, you're
He
right.
moved away from Highland
Did
Okay.
he?
out someplace, and I don't know if it was Nephi or
Oh, okay.
where.
Well, they're from, because our daughter was friends with his niece. What's the one before you get to Delta? Lehman? Oh, Lehman?
he was
Levan?
talking about some.
Levan?
YouTube videos
No,
not-
no.
not-
About
not-
It's out that way, there's 2 of them.
Have a
Oh,
little-
that way.
Lindell,
Lemuel.
Lindell,
Yeah.
I think, is it Lindell?
Yeah, there is a.
Yeah, he lives out
He's
there,
very enterprising, isn't
or
he?
his
Yeah.
family does,
yeah.
but I thought he was still in American Fork or
Where could
whatever.
I get seeds to, like, winter rye? And
There's, what's the name of the place that sells seeds?
In
It's over by
Ephraim?
Ace Hardware in
In
Ephraim.
Ephraim, yeah.
It's
Is
an
it
Maple Leaf.
Maple
Yeah.
Leaf something,
What
Yeah.
was it?
Maple Leaf.
Yeah, it used to be
It's
Maple
behind-
Leaf.
Where's this?
It's behind the Chinese cafe, not cafe,
It's
but
across the street
Oh,
from,
the Snow
it's
Dragon?
around the if you go down the, like
Tire
you're gonna
store.
turn
Yeah.
into the Snow Dragon, but
As
you
if you're
don't,
gonna go to the LaSalle.
and you just
What's it
go
called,
around that
Maple?
corner.
No, it's
Maple
before
Leaf, I
that.
think.
Maple Leaf seeds.
and they sell seeds for like pasture and
All
for
kinds of seeds.
all kinds of things.
So they should have the clover then.
Yeah, oh yeah, they've got cover crops and
That's
look them up
cool. I never
online.
heard of them.
They also have some
Do
pollinators
they do garden seeds too,
for
or just?
Some what?
bee
It's
support.
mostly big
Right.
bulk stuff.
Yeah, so I
There's
bought a
some
bunch
small
of
stuff.
wildflowers,
But, let me
from
show you
them.
how to find them.
Did they grow?
Oh, I can find it.
nothing grew.
But
I
just
mean,
didn't know.
yeah, they sprouted and then the grasshoppers ate everything.
And here's the street right here.
I mean, it wasn't as bad as the locusts that you see on YouTube, but it looks like the ground is
Darn
moving.
close.
You know, and you take a step and a wave, you know, and
So
so.
you haven't figured out how many
So we can be here
grasshoppers.
next year, do you think, or is there a cycle to this?
Last year was supposed to be the big one, and then it wasn't quite as bad as last year, but,
And it's dwindled.
yeah.
It seems to have dwindled.
And so I uncovered all my fruit trees, you know, last week. Because they were just, they would attack one plant, we had these pumpkin plants. And morning full pumpkin plant, by the time I got home from work, there was nothing left.
Ah,
I mean, and they would just, and the plant next to it, the pumpkin plant next to it, they left alone.
I have 2 apple trees right next to each other. The one is totally stripped, totally. There's not a leaf on it.
Right,
And the one next to it is fine.
right?
Why they're doing that.
Why don't
They're
you
tormenting us.
guys use grasshopper?
I wondered why you're being punished.
That's what
Does it work?
It's like I said,
Does
God
it work?
causes to rain on the righteous and the unrighteous.
I
you
have
haven't
heard
figured
that
out how to
that's-
make grasshopper pie or anything
If
then,
you
right?
wanna
My
grind your
wife has a
grasshoppers.
recipe for grasshopper pie.
Oh, God,
No, have you ever had
Grind up
grasshopper pie before?
I think so.
With the cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she
Yeah.
said.
I mean, it's, you use
Oh, I
the
thought she said
the
big.
marshmallow, the cream to mint.
Cream
and all
to
that.
mint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yummy.
I went to the southern states on my mission, and I learned to love pecans. But pecan pie looks like cockroaches
It does,
crawling on
doesn't
the
it?
pie.
Yeah, sure is good though.
Oh,
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, kids.
This was
Thank
nice.
you.